Hello. It's very early. It is right now. It's 6:50. Wait, 1 second. If I exit out. Oh, sorry, I'm back. Yeah. So it's 7:52. So I have some time, but yeah, yesterday was definitely an interesting May Day. I predicted it would be an interesting May Day for the world, but as far as on the world scene, it was more so locally, first nationally. The fact that Ba just decided not to show up to that hearing speaks volumes to me. Um, it was someone named Joe G who was on Fox News, and now I want to talk Q for a second. Now I think that Q was 100% real at one point. Now, was he military intelligence? If he was human, he was military intelligence, and at least one of the group are into advanced signals intelligence, SIGINT. I could tell. I know the shorthand, and I mean, it was obvious to me that this person, probably from NSA, um, and again, could have been military. That's what I did in the military. NSA recruited me. I got an assault and battery, so it was kind of like one of the regrets of my life. Kind of make you think, what if? But then again, I wouldn't have my daughter. I wouldn't have a lot of the greater things I have in life. But anyway, so now even more locally, and I'm talking about things that actually like affected me. Um, my lights go off yesterday, so that sucked. It wasn't necessarily because I'm like so delinquent with my bills. It's I'm supposed to have a medical protection, and they made a mistake, so they told me we will try to get them on before 6 p.m. And I said, so maybe not. He goes, well, usually, in these types of situations, it's 24 hours. But you have a 2-year-old. It's gonna be cold tonight, and well, they didn't get them on, so they'll be on today. I'm sure in a few hours. I'd say by noon. But everything in the fridge. Just gonna have to. I don't know. I'll see what I can save, but I'm not gonna trust most of anything anyway. So a lot of things in the fridge are gonna have to go. And I had just gone shopping, which sucks. But other than that, May Day was uneventful as far as international, national, local. However, there was some eventful things in my little world, and I put out a video. Well, I think if you guys don't know right now, Marfoogle and I had some words yesterday. Um, I think I was respectful, but in my videos, which I know I was, I just simply said, I think he's more upset because I don't know. People from Seattle are a little bit different than people from Boston. You know what I mean? I just got done watching this documentary about Seattle dying or whatever, and it's like, they don't even like enforce the law there. People shit on the street. They just got. The homeless know it, so they flood the place. I've seen a lot on Seattle, and I don't know. They're a little soft on criminals, a little soft. Period. But it's never good to sum up a group of people like that. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I'm just trying to like understand this man a little better, because I always like to look at things from both sides, and I did. I stayed up last night. There's no lights, there's no TV. Once my phone died, the last comment I saw was from one horrible crap. Um, by the way, that'll be fixed soon as far as her being a mod. Um, Defending him when, I can understand there's a lot of ignorant people who obviously don't watch my videos, didn't even watch the video that was being talked about, because I think there was only 100 more views, yet like a bunch of mentions of this thing. It's just blind followers that can't see their hand in front of their face, to be honest with you. Now, I'm going to be honest. I've been feeling a certain type of way about Marfoogle, because the longer you watch him, the more you realize what he's all about. The more you see alarming situations come up, the more you see him disrespect callers, the more you see him kind of, for some reason, it's always a female, but be degrading and talking down to people. Um, you know, and then when he can't do stuff like that, when he can't, come at you in that way, this is why I was pissed, and this is what got me pissed. What got him pissed, what I really think, was when I was busting his balls. That's what we do in Boston, and that's what that. By the way, that's all I was kind of trying to say about, see how people, maybe being a little soft, not able to take it. I don't mean like you're soft, like, there's some great outdoorsmen that I know and still know from the Navy that are from Washington. So, tough guys. They go to Alaska. They go hunting for elk. One of them had a situation where a bear attacked, and they were able to put it down. But, there was a bunch of them, and it took a lot to do it, I guess. And one of them really got hurt, and a lot of crazy stuff. But, so, trust me, I never sum up any group of people by any one thing. But Marfoogle, someone that I watched every night, because I'm blocked now. And apparently that's what he does. He blocks you, so you can't expose him even further. Like, I'm not gonna make a video about it and make sure his name's in the title and say, whatever I gotta say. Because I told him, I said, listen, I'm gonna wait for an apology. If I don't get one by tonight, there'll be a video. Here's the video. So I'll start slow. So basically, just to give you guys an idea of what the hell happened, and listen, I understand. One thing I do agree with, there was some comments, red pill, stick to the truth, keep putting your foot down on the enemy, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Exactly what I'm doing right now, because I never dislike somebody just for being them. It takes all different types, unless they have qualities that make them that. And this isn't talking about my food, that the worst qualities you can have. Some of these apply, but I'm not, like I said, these qualities are not about my food, because I'm tired of my words getting twisted, not his. He's so weird, the tactics he uses. It's like he's we'll go there later. So anyways, I don't know, like a sex offender, like something like that. And this has nothing to do with my food. Once again, I don't want to hear anyone say I call them a sex offender. But I'm just trying to say, as far as people in general, I basically love people. I love their uniqueness. I think it's great for people to be themselves. Um, I, I like it when people are themselves. I can tell when they are knowingly, or as we say in, like military talk, wittingly or unwittingly, if they are doing it or not. There's certain and we all do it to an extent. We have certain, like, for instance, like, I had a hard time when I first started sports radio, because I had this one guy that I looked up to who mentored me and brought me in for the internship. I had to kind of change the way I approach sports radio, because there's so many ways to skin a cat, but I would take his way and can kind of almost adopt it without knowing it, if that makes any sense. And we all do that. um but like I was saying, so there's many different the different ways that somebody can be, um, quote unquote, a bad person. All this crap about pedophilia being a disease. Maybe it is scientifically, but socially, it's a cancer on society. So, it's almost like, sorry, it's almost like a birth defect where, I don't know, we don't mind killing babies with birth defects. So why are we feeling bad for these sickos who do damage for the rest of people's lives, these children? Why are we, giving them an excuse? I see a lot of that lately, especially coming out of the West Coast. Like, oh well, it's like who's the next, misunderstood. The transgenders will ask, now it's who's next. Now it's the sex offenders. Let's feel bad for them. No, I don't. Sorry, they do it's too much damage. I've done my major before communications was psychology. I have associates in psychology. And I know that's not much, but I mean, you know, I went for my bachelor's and came pretty damn close. And honestly, I literally like study psychology as a hobby. So, my understanding of psychology is far beyond my degree. But psychology is also at the same time a dynamic type of science. And, sometimes in these books, especially nowadays, with the whole like intercultural, like in communications, we have intercultural communications. That's like the new kind of crazy crap that we have to put up with in that field. In psychology, they got a bunch of their own, and that's defending these sex offenders. They can't help it and all that. On a human level, I don't want to say admirable on these doctors' parts. I mean, because it is a little bit. Because how could you sit across from these people and honestly, in your heart, not feel some type of way about them? I wonder that sometimes. But anyways, the reason I'm getting into all this is I'm trying to say that it's very hard for me to not like someone for just being themselves. So, in order for me to end up not liking someone, there has to be proof of a reason not to like this person. I'm sorry if it's a little foggy. It's just like, if you guys want to see the weather out here, you know, crappy weather. Kind of beautiful at the same time. But anyways, so what I wanted to talk about as far as him. Oh man, he ain't gonna like this because some truth is coming. And everything that I say, by the way, I'm not going to speculate, because if I was to speculate, I'd have a lot more, I would say. There's only one thing I might say that's speculation, but it's an observed and educated speculation that I share with a lot of people. But basically, 100% fact. Let's just go there. Okay, so this is a beef now with me and Marfoogle. Now, I'll be honest. Inside, I haven't really cared for him for a little bit now. Probably ever since, believe it or not, first you got me the subscribers at the beginning. You got me like 300 subscribers, 300 plus subscribers. I think it was like 320 or something like that. And I liked him at that point. But then like he started talking to me different every time I called and treating me different. And I started to realize like, oh, I get it. He thinks he owns my ass now. Okay. Noted. And then when I finally was able to get through again, I'm talking about some like a very important topic. I got cut off multiple times. And that's another thing I hate, is when it's his show, he can do what he want. Yeah. But guess what? People aren't there to listen to you. I mean, just if I were you, just look at the chat or look at your analytics and watch how many people really tune in for the news portion that you force down everyone's throat for an hour. I mean, some people enjoy it, you know what I mean? I'll kind of skim through it and see if anything is, you know, of that is worth hearing besides the same old, something about the moon, NASA this, oh, some scientific study just said this about this, and Big Brother's watching you, and China has ghost cities. I don't know. It's like I don't really get much from it, honestly. I really don't. It makes me question, like there'll be like some crazy stories, and I'm like, which one am I gonna report on? And all right, I'll do this one first, and this one, and then like I watch a show, and just the stuff that's at the beginning of a show is ridiculous. It's the news portion of it sucks, to be honest with you. The best that comes of his show is the calls. I mean, and that's the most entertaining as a viewer. I mean, you know, so I mean, he won't see this because he blocked me like a coward. I wasn't gonna block him, but he wanted to block me so that, you know, I won't be, you know, spreading truth over there. But he's basically blocked me as a caller for the past 3 weeks anyway. Every single time I call, and I have proof of it, by the way, so I can, I'll just make a video, do a recording, and I record all my phone calls. So you'll see all my phone calls into him. You'll see many where it's simply busy. That's not, you know. Then there's the ones where it coincides. You can see his face, look down, hit a button, and all of a sudden I'm hung up on because I will get through. It'll have the hold music, but nobody ever answers. And this didn't happen once, twice, three, four, 7 times in one night that I decided to record them. But I want to get into exactly where this all comes from, and it is unfortunate. I agree with the comment that was just wrote we just wrote, and you know he did ask people to come over and be supportive. Yes, to my channel, but that comes with a price for everybody who is in the Foogle fam. Okay, and I was one of them, and I still am because there's people in that fam I love, but you know, it just kind of feels weird because I think the dear leader is a little off, and maybe you guys might have a better understanding after watching this video. And I'm kind of doing this on the fly, but I'm gonna try to make sure I get it all from memory, and usually I'm pretty good about doing that. I just hope I don't ramble. So, where was I? That comment. Okay. So yeah, that comment might actually help me. Oh yeah. So basically, what he did was what he does is he will help people, right? Make him look like a good guy, right? What a great guy, you know. You didn't have to do that. And look, oh, I got him above 1,000 subs. Oh, look, someone who would never get a sub, he's now getting subs. Good for him. What a good guy. Who else does that? Well, come on, guys. Please do not be so deceived. This guy is not doing this out of the goodness of his heart. Now, in some cases, I do think he does have a goodness of his heart. Like for that little boy who was made fun of and all that, I think that was Marfoogle's heart. That was his real heart. But in many of these other situations, that's not his heart. That's him looking like he always does, okay? Whatever he has to do to get people to love him. And listen, okay, whatever he has to do to the Seattle, the left did destroy that city. I agree with you. Commenter, machine name Cinder. So, but you know, there's a price that comes with that when you go over 1,000 when he helps you. And I knew that. I realized that right away because after that first 300, when I called, I wasn't even calling to get a shout out. I was just calling because I had some good intel, tried to give it, kept talking over me. And then what he'll do is, you know, be rude to people. He says his pet peeve is people speaking over him, but that's all he does is speak over people. And then he'll sit there and after saying, your time's up, one more thing, and the person kind of goes a little long, which is annoying. I would be annoyed by that too. But, you know, I mean, it's extremely difficult to keep real intel in 5 minutes. and then he eventually just goes, like, he kind of like pretends that he hit the wrong button, like not just like a wink and a nod, like, but no, he actually pretends like his audience is stupid. But I don't even blame him, because all like, seriously, like, not all of the audience, but a good portion of the audience are so blinded by this guy that they'll believe anything he says. I mean, literally, like, he could I'm serious, he could do anything, say anything, and it could be so obvious, and they'll believe it. So he'll go, oh, I didn't mean to hang up on them. Oops. Oh no. Oh, I'm sorry. But anyways, next call, Okay. And then meanwhile, you got people like somebody who has called into my channel, who I have found to be one of the most intelligent callers that have called in, and has emailed me some of the most legitimate intel that I have been privy to from emails. And that is Drop. A lot of you guys know Drop. And Drop, I'm not bringing you into this, but I'm just making an observation. And, you know, you obviously, got over that. But the way he was treated when he first called in to Marf hung up on him. Marf hung up on him because this guy is so knowledgeable. He has such a vast array of knowledge and is so smart that he basically kind of, the way the conversation was going, it was like, like the guy's trying to say something, but Marf won't let him. So finally, the guy goes, he goes, all right, well, what do you want me? What do you want to know? He's like, I can, like I can shoot from the hip on anything. That's basically what he's saying. And then Marf hangs up on him and all this stuff, and starts talking about him. And he lost a valuable asset there. Now I see Marf in the chat and stuff, but I think Drop called in one more time, and by then Marfoogle had realized, I think probably through my show, that this guy was actually brilliant. But that's how he treats his callers. If he's not doing something like that, he's doing things like censoring. Not only, I mean, he can censor himself all he wants, and trust me, there's a lot of that. I mean, I sit here and I say whatever I want when I want, and I have had a top secret clearance in my life with a polygraph. Anyone who's at that level of clearance understands what, with a polygraph, what echelon that brings you to. So, which I couldn't believe at 18 I had, but I did, and I had that for 4 years, and so, well, I was in for longer than 4 years, but it took me a long time to get my clearance because I got in a little bit of trouble as a juvenile, but it all got dismissed, and had to sign a waiver and did it the right way, and because you can't. Actually, I'll even tell you a funny story to lighten the mood before we really go. Um, because so far we're just talking little things. I'm building up. But during the polygraph, right, there were rumors going around base that you could beat the polygraph. Now, I had no reason to beat the polygraph because there are questions like, are you an agent of a foreign government? Are you this? Are you that? Are you, things that I obviously was not. I was, a kid from Boston who had been to Florida, and that's it. Well, my family, we didn't take a plane, we drove down. So I guess I'd been to every state on the way down, but really, and those of you who know the East Coast 95, you drive down. I don't know if it's still, I don't think that it's there anymore, but maybe it is. But on your way, I think it's either when you're about to hit Virginia or North Carolina, one of those. I think it's North Carolina, Virginia line, something like that. It's like, have you seen Pedro and Pedro this, and all these funny billboards all the way before you get there. And then when you get there, it's like this like wicked crappy place. It's like hilarious. It's like they spent 95% of the money on the billboards and 5% on the actual like place. But I don't know, anyone who's driven 95 up and down that way knows it, because you get it from both ways. But no pun intended, man. Um, anyways, that was uncalled for. Anyway, so what I want to talk about is again, I'm talking about the callers. So he censors himself. That's fine. I mean, I say whatever I want to say. You don't see me. Actually, you know what? I get messed with a lot. So I don't know. Maybe, I definitely know that there is a algorithm. There definitely is. I know that for sure. My boy Monty, he knows what he's talking about. When it comes to stuff like that, I go to him, and he says Al exists. I believe Al exists. But I think it's more so about promoting the channel and things like that. And my channel obviously doesn't get promoted because I've broken some stories where nobody broke it for hours yet. So you think mine would gain some kind of traction, yet it has less views than a show about, I don't know, I won't say nonsense, but let's just say, because my live-in show, my call-in shows are definitely not nonsense. I mean, literally, my last 3 shows have been unbelievable call-in shows. But anyways, but let's say my call-in show. Okay, now those are popular, yes, but I'm just saying that all of my least rated videos are usually the ones that should be some of the highest rated videos. So it's kind of funny how that works. So I am definitely censored. Maybe it's because I'm so open, but like I said, I will never censor myself, and I'm definitely not going to censor my audience, which is exactly what he does. He tells them what they can write in chat, what they can't write in chat. Now I understand. Okay, now I have guidelines as well. Here's my guidelines. I don't want to see anything like racist, for one. I don't want to see that racism crap, because it's just, if that's how you feel about people, you know what? Like, just find a different way to not say it, but just find a different, just talk about something else. You know what I mean? Um, I'm trying to think what else. You can say anything you want about me, good, bad, ugly. I don't care. I'm not gonna censor you, block you. Make a video about me. I don't care. I'm trying to think. So basically, that's it. Don't be racist. You can be an a-hole. I don't care. Um, I'm a little bit protective of my mods. I would strongly discourage being disrespectful to my mods, because my mods, I owe them a lot, because they are truly the ones who got me over 1,000, not Marf. In fact, after those first 300 subscribers, and I saw his whole tone change, like, I got this guy under my thumb. And not only that, this guy had a top secret clearance. This guy, has done, all this stuff in his life. It's like basically just watching his show, you can kind of tell that he almost wished he maybe went military, and he wished he was military intelligence, and he wished he had a clearance, and was trusted with the type of information I was at my age, but he didn't have those things. So maybe he kind of, doesn't like me because I'm everything he wishes he wasn't. Or I should say, I have accomplished things in my life that he never will, and he's accomplished things in his life I never will, like 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'll never make it to that number. They'll never let me get to that number. You know what I mean? Every single time I open up, it's not just, I watch a lot of channels, not just him. So it's not like I just watch him more than anyone else. In fact, he's probably like the third highest watched person I watch. Yet his videos are always the first ones up, the first ones promoted. And, it's partly because he has a bunch of people that, he calls fam, makes you feel all fuzzy. And, you think you're part of something. But in reality, he looks at you guys like sheeple. and like people that can be done away with and told how they can talk or when they can talk or what to do. And I don't see how other people don't see that in his videos. Now, I'm not just saying all this because of yesterday. I think that I know I have been fed up with him for a while, and he's changed. Either he's changed or it just takes time to see who he really a while ago. Now, before that, he never once look at his old videos. Please, if you can find him saying God bless or talking about the Bible or anything like that on more than one occasion in one video, please let me know about it. I'd love to see it. Now, if he just recently came to Christ, then that's great. That's a good thing. And that would be a totally acceptable answer, and I would retract that in the comments if that's the case, if he's just recently come to Christ. And who am I to question someone's faith? I'm not questioning someone's faith, but he pushes it pretty damn hard. But all I see is every time a Christian is trying to say a prayer, he interrupts it. Every time a Christian brings up the Bible, and they kind of like leave it on an open-ended, and anyone that's even like grown up in any type of religious, although I'm not religious, I'm more so like I walk with God and read the Bible rather than depending on a Catholic priest. Um, that's just my opinion and the way I go about my religion, or faith, I should say. Um, but it's what I kind of lost my train of thought a little bit because I started talking about myself. So I'm trying to keep it, but I feel like I have to almost like make sure that I'm being clear because I'm just getting more crap since last night, and it's really all that I read this morning because, like I said, my lights got turned off. I'm supposed to be, a medical, a veteran with a disability, PTSD. You're supposed to be medically protected. I still pay the bill every month, but I just can't afford how much it is. It's $500 a month in the winter. It's crazy, and it's just it added up. So I still paid most of it every month, but because I owe, it adds up, and over the last 3 years, every winter, it's never paid in full by the end of the winter, and it's added up, and they just shut it's like May 1st. That's when they can safely do it in New England. And I knew it, and it was obvious because it took 5 hours for them to call me back. Like, you call customer service, and it says we have extraordinarily high wait times, hit 1, to receive a call back instead of having to wait 5 hours. So 5 hours for them to call me back, and you don't lose your place in line. So that's what they say. But anyways, all right, back to it. So I hate to question a man's religion. So all I'm gonna say is, it seems like he has found, God and trust in Jesus since I don't know the last like 8 months. Before that, it seemed like he didn't even know who he was. If you watch his videos, either that, or maybe he didn't feel comfortable talking about it, or maybe he was trying to reel in the Southern Bible Belt audience of in the age range of, I would say, like baby boomer, maybe a little younger. So, 40s, 50s, early 60s, that audience. So if you're in that audience, you're the target, just so you know. Because that's not just conjecture. That's not just me making a guess. I have legit people who were mods of his tell me what his whole plan was when before that happened. That was his plan. He was gonna, go. He was gonna go after Christians. Maybe because he was one. Like I said, I'm not. I don't know. I watched a bunch of his old videos, and I didn't see anything about being a Christian or anything like that. Now, on to the next topic. Like I said, he senses his audience, and it makes me sick how they just accept it the way they do. he'll sit there and the person will be talking like I was saying before, and then he'll just hang up on them or pretend that he didn't hang up on them, and then he'll talk for 8 minutes, talking about we have people waiting on the line and this and that. He just loves hearing himself talk. He'll legit cut someone off just so that he'll sit there and talk for 10 minutes. All right, now so far these are small things, right? So you ever notice that tattoo on his neck? Well, it's not a butterfly. No, it's not. It's not a cross. No. You see, like I said, I have an associate's in psychology, as well as communications, a bachelor, but I have a master's in reading and street smarts. Okay, which is what probably helped me get such a high score in analyzing and mathematics. It just happened to be a gift from God. But it's like nature nurture. My nature was math. My nurture was analyzing and understanding and street smarts. So those are my two extremely high scores on the ASVAB, which is what you take when you go in the military, which is why they asked me to be a cryptologist, despite my background of getting in trouble, which none of them were convictions, so they were all dismissed and waived. And they were all small things that little kids do, two for getting in fights, and one for, what was the other one? It was something really stupid. Oh, disturbing the peace. So small stuff, which is why they were able to overlook it. All right, nobody got really hurt in the fight. It was just fists, no kicking, none of that crap. And plus, in Boston, we do it the right way, 1-on-1, and you shake hands after. It's just the cops happen to show up on 2 occasions. So, anyways, that's just how I grew up. It's just a totally different way of growing up than most I understand. But, um, I wasn't drinking and driving, doing that type of stuff like some people, which he tried to hide, and it was, it was out there, and he was exposed, and he thinks he got up in arms about that guy, some friggin', I don't know, like fresh out of jail, whoever, you know, from Cranston. He got all out of shape about that guy, defending himself on every show. I mean, I hope he learned better from that. But he's dealing with a different animal when he's dealing with me. I'll tell you that. Oh, and by the way, I didn't even get to say this is all about. By the way, I made a video before I get into his neck tattoo. You know what? Actually, let's just say that his tattoo represents something that a lot of you would be disgusted by. Some of you might even salute it. I don't know. Some of the real heavy info I got on, there'll be another video. So still waiting on an apology, Marf. But what doesn't matter. You didn't give one when I said to give one, so you're getting fucking ripped. I hope swearing doesn't mess up the stream, because there's gonna be some information in here, and there has been. Like I said, the neck tattoo. I would like everyone, please ask him about his neck tattoo. You come clean before I come clean for you about what you represent. It's disgusting, Marf. It's disgusting. And I've known about it for a while. One of the many reasons I kind of, ugh. So this all started, I keep relighting the same fucking cigarette. All right, so this all started basically. I made a video. First of all, I thought it was all good and fun. We're all friends, right? I was busting his balls because him and his alert video, which was was clearly just a ploy to get people to go to his YouTube, to go to his website and get his website going. Because to him, it's all about power, money, subscribers, control. Did I miss anything? I think that sums it up pretty good. Um, that's what it's all about. And by the way, it's 27 people here. I would say smash the like button, but smash the like button if you agree on anything I'm saying, even one thing. Even if some of this is ringing a bell or starting to, you see what I see. Am I the only one who sees this stuff? I just don't get it. But this all started because that's what I think, because of that video. But he claims it's because I came after him and, I misunderstood. And I was talking, that, he thought that I was mad for some reason about Virginia Beach polls coming down and not getting credit. Virginia Beach polls, no. He broke that story. And then I was able to, kind of put my expertise into that story. And because he broke it, I gave him credit. And in that video I mentioned, it would have been nice to gotten credit on one of his Seattle videos, which I don't care what anyone says, go back and watch all the Seattle videos. He never once mentions me as Matt, me as Red Pill, me as Red Pill News Dispensary, in any form of fashion on the Seattle videos does he mention it. And that is when you mention it. When you're doing a report, you say, a source, an anonymous source, someone who broke it, whatever. It was a great tip at that. I made sure to give that person credit, and and she got credit, and she's a great person, and she's a mod now, and she's from the UK. I don't know if she wants me to put her name out, so I'll just say that. I gave her credit because she deserved it. She brought it to my attention. She did the homework, brought it to my attention. And I had the platform to break it. So that was it. I just said, Marfoogle, I said this story was broken by Marfoogle, and this is why it's important. Now, he saw the correlation between Seattle and Virginia polls going down, but I think he kind of, didn't see the trees through the forest, or whatever that expression is. What he didn't seem to understand, I understand, because he wasn't military. But anyone in the military, especially the Navy, will tell you that that Norfolk, Virginia, Virginia Beach, Hampton, all that whole area, that is 100% military. Our biggest military presence on the planet. I mean, you got Germany, you got San Diego, and Pearl Harbor. I mean, what else am I missing? Despite, we might be at war, Afghanistan, something like that. But even then, the numbers don't even come close. How many ships are out of there? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Norfolk, Virginia is a hub of U.S. military might. And our strongest asset is all of our military, from the Air Force, the Army, but most of all, it's the Navy, which they hate to admit it, but the Marines are part of the Department of the Navy. The U.S. Navy is our most important, because of the times that we live in. It's the most relative and would be the most important in a war, the U.S. Navy. We also have the Marines, because, you do still have to do some old-fashioned, go in and, get them out, especially when they're dug in. And they're not just, I mean, they had underground tunnel systems in World War II. Imagine what they have now. I mean, I couldn't even imagine. And the things that I do know, I can't say, except to say that one of the bases this isn't classified, one of the bases I was at was an underground base in Hawaii. It used to be NSGA Kania, now it's NSGA Hawaii. If you guys want to look that up, it's right in the middle of the island of Oahu. Nahiwa, probably the worst neighborhood on the island of Oahu. which most Navy bases, that's the story, right outside a real bad neighborhood, which is why I think my friend got shot right outside in Virginia. It was actually more in particular, it was Hampton, and he got shot. That's where he got shot, and it was actually by another Navy guy who didn't know we were Navy, and he had the gun on me. My friend rushed him from the side, turned, shot him in the face, 45 haul tip to the face. And I actually suppressed a lot of the memories of the aftermath of that, and they were brought back by and I can't believe I was hypnotized, but a hypnotist, um, which I regretted doing later because it almost makes you worried. Like, what if they, put some trigger thing, or it made me more susceptible to something. I don't know. That stuff's scary because I literally, like, it's like I went away. I literally, like, walked out and I'm like, wait, what happened during that appointment? And also, we weren't in his regular office. We were in this, like, storage room, and I gave him permission for other doctors to watch him hypnotize someone. So after he put me, obviously out of consciousness, a team of doctors came in. So, like, I don't know. There's a lot of regrets I have in that situation, but at the time, I was trying to get over my father's death, and that's also another reason Marfoogle really, like, kind of pulled at my heartstrings in the beginning, was I know what it's like not to have your parents. And that's another thing that kind of it's like when you have something like that in common with someone, and we're very similar age. I think he's 33, I'm 34. Although I always think I'm 33 for some reason. When people ask me how old I am, I'll say 33, and then I have to correct myself. Anyways, so I already told you guys how this all started, right? So anyways, oh no, I didn't finish. So in this video, I'm talking about how, after giving my, because he never mentioned the military installations in Virginia Beach. So I said, one thing I think my Fugle missed here, and like, not in a mean way, like in a regular, like, I think he missed that, and it's understandable. If you're not in the military, you're not gonna know. Some know, especially those who live in that area, but you live on the other side of the country. If it happened in San Diego, I bet you right away he'd make the connection. But this is Virginia Beach, and usually you hear Norfolk. People don't realize, and I didn't until I was in the Navy, that Virginia Beach and Norfolk are basically one and the same. But anyways, the facts that the Poles were attacked there shows me that's an act of war, which we've been in this, like, electric war, kind of tit for tat. An F-35 disappears, an F-35, has to, have an emergency landing and has some technical problems. Navy ships, suddenly their radars that have been perfect since World War I, ramming into, merchant ships. I mean, come on. This stuff, sailors are dying. A bunch of sailors got taken. 10 sailors got embarrassed by the U.S. Navy. Four of them, especially. Um, that's somewhat classified, but exactly the details of it. But it involved Iran kind of taking these 10, and it made us look bad. And four in particular made it really look bad. I think you can maybe figure it out from that. Um, but those are our boys, and we have to support them. They just, I don't know. I don't know. They are to be respected. but they didn't use their training. Let's just say that. Listen, Lori, this path. Listen, this is what everyone's getting wrong. I didn't take it down any path. I made a video about how I think that the Virginia Beach poles falling was because they are literally surrounding a military, our largest military presence in the world, largest military base, most amount of ships, everything, the whole 9 yards. And that's exactly where they went down. Even one of the addresses was like, I forget the number, but something military way or something to that effect. Okay? So that's exactly what it said on his video. When you go back, look at it, one of the addresses are even like military way. All right. So those poles, all right, not just going up, but like exploding or however it happened. But like I said, like I say all the time, because I can tell a lot of you guys aren't my regular viewers. I don't recognize basically any of the names, any of them. Oh, and CJ's here. Good. I'll talk to you too. Um, yeah, I'm not even mad at you, CJ. The deception is real. I get it. So, anyways, so that's what I made a video about. Now, in that video, I said, and by the way, Marfoogle, I have to say, you should have given me credit, like any journalist would do, to who breaks the story. And everyone keeps on saying, no, he did. He did give you credit. I have watched all the Seattle videos. He never gave me credit on any of his Seattle reports. Period. I don't care what he said. I'm not bored. Okay, we already just said that. I'm not bored. I just woke up in the morning. All right. All this went down last night. I promised that if he didn't apologize, I would have a rebuttal. And here it is. And it involves I would like to some of you guys, if you're not just blind followers, please just ask him, what does the tattoo on your neck mean? All right, you might learn a little bit more about the man. All right, and I don't like how he senses his callers. I don't like how he senses his audience, his chat. All right, it tells you if you can say next caller, how you can say, oh, you can, well, I guess it's fair, we'll meet in the middle. You can say, and this is just recently, you can say, um, time, time's up. And that's another thing. I understand it's tough with as many subscribers as he has, but 5 minutes, it's tough to really get your point across. 5 minutes. But at the same time, I do understand it, and I've always said that. On my channel, the reason I think that the call-in shows go a lot better is because they're given a chance to really get their point across. Now, in some situations, that's a great thing. In most, it's a great thing. In others, it's not so good a thing. But don't worry, I always kind of have my way of politely getting them off earlier and not letting them go as long as I do some of these very interesting calls. But so anyways, back to the video I made. So I don't see what the problem is with the video I made at all. I don't see what's wrong with saying when you made your Seattle videos, not something you said on Patreon, and not something you said, like on a call-in show. No, I'm talking about like your actual report when you were reporting Seattle. I mean, I broke a huge story in your city, and you slept on it because you were too busy, working with your gadgets and music, and which I can't stand, to be honest with you, sheltros, and I mean, just a bunch of, like, I don't know, just bells and whistles. When in the end, you might find nuggets from truth, and they come from the callers, and the rest is about NASA, and everyone wants to skip the Marfoogle news spot. And trust me, they wouldn't feel like that if it wasn't so long. Just this is like advice. If it wasn't so long, and if it wasn't, I don't know, kind of like about the same thing but in a different way every night. All right, during a coup, I was following it step by step by step. You made a quick mention of it. I mean, this is the real stuff going on in the world. And by the way, that coup, little information for you. It didn't fail because it didn't have the teeth behind it, or that the U.S. failed. No, it failed. I mean, how many times have we seen this story? It failed so that we. I mean, think of who's behind this. We got Pompeo, Bolton. All right, I do trust Trump. So you know what? And this is one where I do support overthrowing this government. And I think people are rightfully so sick of overthrowing governments because it never turns out good. It always ends up, it's just like too many casualties for what? Like you look at Iraq. What was the? I mean, it ended up being, taken over by ISIS. Where my brothers died. No, my brothers in arms died. Was taken over by ISIS. Only a couple years later under Obama. It's disgusting. So sometimes overthrowing, and then Libya. I mean, Gaddafi, do a little research on Gaddafi and what he did for his country. He did some great things for his country, and he was a threat to the bankers. And so, you know, Hillary Clinton paid for, bought for. She made sure that he was taken out. She saw, he died. No, he was tortured, was sodomized, had things stuck up his ass until he literally died of puncturing of whatever the first thing those things were hitting when they were going up his ass. All right, that's how Gaddafi died, by his own people. All right, they made sure that they got into this presidential palace, they dragged Gaddafi out, and they stuck stuff up his butt until he died. That's the truth. Listen, people are so defensive. Did he ask for your advice? No, and I'm not giving advice, but because I said something, it is advice. And you know what? You ask basically everyone, you make a poll. He can make a poll. Should I shorten my news segment? I guarantee you, it'll be above 67% saying yes. Yes, you should shorten it. Yeah, we don't need an hour of that because a lot of us skip it. All right, so don't tell me about needing my advice. You're right. He doesn't need my advice. As far as like being on YouTube and getting subscribers and using all the tactics and doing all the things that you read. Just do me a favor. Go watch a video about how to grow your channel, how to gain subscribers, how to basically just BS people. It's not truth he's putting out. It's, he puts out whatever makes money. Okay, you want proof? All right. Well, if you were to look back, and I made sure I made this I think I did. I made the thumbnail. It's Marf talking about Q with someone who I like a lot, Dustin Nemos. And Dustin Nemos is very intelligent. Who didn't tell me this. I already knew this. He paid Marf $1,800 to talk about Q. So what does Marf do? He talks about nothing but Q for whatever the contract or agreement was. Does that sound like truth to you? All right, somebody who would accept something like that and be bought for a number like that. What do you think happens when they see, wow, this guy's 100,000 subscribers, and honestly, when I really saw him change was after Hot Musket, and I remember hearing him on John X, sitting there, literally like quivering on John X. He was scared, and rightfully so, because you know that kid, no one ever talks about him. Moff threw him right under the bus. And he even said on John X, he's like, hey, go watch back when all that Hot Musket stuff. Type in Hot Musket, John X Army, whatever you got to do. Watch his video. It's quick. And he has Marfoogle on. And Marfoogle's like, wait, what? I'm live? I don't want to be live. No, listen, I just want this to go away. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll tell them whatever they need to know. I'll cooperate. I'll this, I'll that. Fact. Truth. Everything I'm saying is truth or fact. If it's not, I'll say it's opinion. All right? Another thing, $1,800 from Dustin Nemos to talk about nothing but Q. Fact. So yeah, cigarettes and Monster. Yeah, that's right. That's my morning thing. Never around the baby, but Oh, I had my mother pick up the baby, so it's kind of been nice to just have like a night to myself and morning to myself. And it's also nice to be able to address this without having to worry about that. And this video is getting long, so you know what? I kind of want to get some of the meaty stuff in, which is what I'm starting to do now. So, like I said, $1,800 in Dustin Nemos, and Dustin Nemos is a great guy, very intelligent one too. Which is why he was smart enough to drop that $1,800 into Moff's pocket. I mean, look at how much money he makes on Super Chat. You know how much money I've made on YouTube? I've had over 1,000 subscribers and over 4,000 viewing hours for about a month. About a month now. How much money I've made? Zero, zero, zero. Because no, I will say Marf came up with a brilliant idea. I got to give him credit on this one. With Patreon, I'm like totally against Patreon because I am not going to withhold information from my regular audience and just give it to those who pay me. No, sorry, I'm not one of those bot people like him. $1,800 talk about Q, which he did for like 2 months straight or longer. I don't know the exact how long, but I know it was like at least a month and a half that he pushed Q. And now he comes out saying, I never really don't really believe it. Well, so you just pushing fake bullshit because you got paid? I mean that's I mean, in the truth community, we shouldn't respect that. But you have everyone in here, they will literally just defend him at every turn, no matter what he does, no matter how he treats people, no matter how he treats his callers, no matter how much he censors himself, his audience, his callers, his chat. And yeah, it's his channel. His, it's like Lord of the Rings. I forget the name, but everyone knows the reference. My precious. That's his little channel. Like he's so scared of losing it that he's censoring he's censoring things that are no need to be censored. If people want to say, next caller, let them say next caller. Like, let people, this is America. It's a free country. I'll tell you, it ain't free. It ain't a free. You don't have free rights on that channel. And then, God forbid, you ever, say, hey, I think you should have given me credit for that. What's he do? He comes on my channel and leaves a comment. And this is when it went wrong. So, the first bullet, by the way, was fired by him. All I said was, and this isn't an attack, this is a fact. In journalism and like in anything, I said, hey, as a Foogle fam, and, I mean, he's gotten me started, right? He got me started those first 300. Although the next time I called in, I made sure to say, hey guys, listen, you don't just have to go blindly subscribe. Please check out the content first. If you like me, then subscribe. He didn't like that. He didn't like that because he wanted control. Go watch that video. In fact, maybe I'll take a snippet of it. He'll probably flag me. He'll like purposely flag me. I'll take a very small snippet, Muff, just enough to show where you said, listen, just appreciate it. Just appreciate it. Just appreciate it. Come on. Because I knew what you were doing. That's why. I'm not stupid. All right? Like I'm some dummy. I knew it came with a price. I know that anybody you get over 1,000, if any of them make it, and it looks like someone like Snafu Snaps, for instance, I think he's gonna make it, and Moff's gotten him a lot of viewers. I'm just telling you, hey, Snafu Snaps, it ain't gonna come free. It ain't gonna come free. I'll tell you that much. Hopefully me doing this will help it not be, help him not be, the way he was towards me. But basically what he did was I said what all I said, literally, you can watch the video, it's the truth. I gave an analysis, and then I said, on the Seattle videos, you should have given me, it would have been nice if you gave me gave me, credit for breaking the story. Not on every single one of your Seattle videos. No, just like the first one. You know what I mean? Like, just one time, quick. By the way, this was broken by Red Pill Dispensary, member of the Fugle fam. You know, someone I promoted and da 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 da, and helped. You know, whatever and all. You know, but I didn't want to get too much help. That's why I said, hey, don't just blindly subscribe. Go look at my channel. Make sure you like the content, and then, subscribe. Because one, I don't want him having that type of power over me, and which he thinks he does, which is what I'll get to next, which is what started this whole thing. And two, I want subscribers who are going to watch the videos and not just, look at me as some, schmuck who got some free subscribers and didn't deserve them. Trust me, I get to 1,000 no matter what with my background and the analysis I put into things and my effort. Oh, I hit the wrong. You know what kind of car I drive now. Anyway, so, with my effort that I put into it, I mean, until I got some sleep the other day, I was going on literally because I would do live shows until like 4 in the morning. And then the one night that I could sleep, I got people calling me all night. I don't know if they thought I was live or what. They calling me and texting me all night. Just, no matter who you are, please, the calls and texts between midnight to 1 a.m. and, like 7 a.m. Please, just don't do that. I don't need to be told, all this information at that hour. I'm not going to digest it right at that hour anyway. So anyway, that's all I did, right? I asked for him to give me a little recognition and just say, hey, this is broken by Red Pill Dispensary, Red Pill News Dispensary. That's it. He didn't do that. People claim that he did. He didn't. Watch his videos on any Seattle video. If someone can show me where he did, please do. And I will send all my apologies. If you can show me a Seattle video where he did that. Now, if he did that in some other video in some weird way and kind of mentioned me or whatever, like right after I got off the phone, that's one thing. I'm talking about on the actual reporting of the story. Okay, so far I don't see no harm done, right? But he decides to leave a message saying, one, that I'm twisting his words. What words I'm twisting, I don't know, because all I said was, you should have left a, um, you know, a, I've already said it 1,000 times, but you should have left some type of recognition, like a real journalist, and just kind of say, this is broken by Red Pill News Dispensary. By the way, one of 6 stories I've broken. Well, I'll say one of 5 because one is disputable. There was one other person. So I'll say 5 or 6. That's what I always say. But 5 or 6 stories I've broken in my short time on YouTube. And that's with a 2.5 week to 3 week hiatus after I was threatened. Face to face, not by somebody pretending to be, no, face to face, came to my door, you know, gave me an indirect threat, which makes it direct. I mean, the indirect ones are the most direct, if that makes any sense. But I called that bluff real quick. Because I'm never going to disclose any classified intel that I that's it. I just never will. For my time in the Navy, none of that. You'll hear stories of me and my buddies and stuff like that, stuff about where I've been. Nothing classified where I've been. No classified information. No methods or ways of. I'm not even gonna say, but nothing like that. Equipment, none of that. So he leaves a comment saying, hey, I think that you twisted your, he goes, listen, you twisted my words. He goes, and this type of thanks I get when I get you over 1,000 subscribers and all this stuff. And basically the whole thing was about, he got me 1,000 subscribers, which by the way, he didn't. He got me like 320 subscribers. The rest, I got like 100 the time when I said, actually, I think I got more than 100, like 100 to 200 when I said, listen, don't just subscribe blindly. Go look at the content. If you like it, then subscribe. And actually, the chat um, responded well to that. And they said, I actually like that. Just for saying that, I'm subscribing. So people did like that. But he didn't like that because that kind of kills his agenda, doesn't it? Because I knew exactly what he was doing. That's why I said that. And ever since then, by the way, I've been blacklisted from his show. Not since last night, no. The reason you haven't heard me on the show in so long is because I've been blacklisted. My number will I'll call you busy, then I'll get through. Then it'll never get answered. It'll just be on the hold line the whole time. And you think I'm kidding? Guess what? You think ex-intelligence agent doesn't record every phone call? Well, I do. So that will be coming out as well. I give proof. I don't just say things. There's proof there. Now, I could pull up proof about the neck tattoo. I could pull up proof. Actually, no, the neck tattoo, I said because that's some damning stuff. So I'm going to wait another day for an apology before we get into the neck tattoo. And proof of it's what it means and what type of people love it and people like me who don't. Next. That's what it all started about, was him coming, and basically that's what he does. He's going to hold the subscribers over your head, and God forbid you say something like, hey, Marf, I wish you gave me credit on that video. He's going to attack you, and he's going to use the subscribers against you, throw it in your face, hold it over your head. And that's when I got pissed. I said, you know what? I'll be honest, I already was kind of like over him, as far as like, there was a point where, like I said, because, with the parents being dead, like I could relate in that way. Also, it's like an entertaining show. But once you start watching it every night, the news portion just seems to get longer and longer. The shutout thing gets to get cornier and cornier. The music is like, oh, this is just me. Everyone feels different. Other people might love every corner of his show from beginning to end. And also, that's another thing. I don't like the cult-like mentality of it. It went from, like, it's so weird. It's like done this, he's like, literally, I don't know. Who knows? This guy, I hate to even say it, but he could be a clown or a clown asset. Because I feel like ever since, especially since Hot Musket, right? That was it. Which I think was a real thing. Because one thing he said was, people said it wasn't real because of the number, the order. Well, they do reuse numbers. That's true. For orders. That is true. They do reuse a number. Like, for instance, my orders from Pensacola to Hawaii or Hawaii to Bahrain, those orders might have been the same order number given to someone in Vietnam or Korea, So that is true. So I do believe that this was real, because that was the only thing that made people question its legitimacy. But what about that poor guy? No one ever talks about him. He never, that poor guy. And that's what's going to happen to one of you people who call into a show one day. You might work in some field. You might be let's say you're legit. You have some legit intel, and you drop it there. Listen, one thing I can promise on my channel, and any good journalist can promise, is that they're going to protect their sources. He ain't going to protect you. He's going to do exactly what he did to that poor guy in the military. And as a veteran, I take offense to it, that somebody had the balls to stand up and not only call into his show and let people know what was happening, when, I mean, really, they were just preparing for the caravan. But, it could have been anything at the time, right? So, he's putting his ass on the line. Even sends him the document. Marf puts that document out all over the internet. And then when shit hits the fan, he's quivering, talking to John X, not knowing he's on air, saying, I'll do anything for this to go away. I'll cooperate, whatever they need to know. Unbelievable. Threw that kid under the bus. All right? I know a lot of you guys found this channel through Marf. I know that. I've already said 1,000 times that he brought me like my first like 320 subscribers. And then there was another time I called in where I said, listen, I started to pick up because he changed his whole tone with me after that. Once I became a YouTuber, he changed his whole tone. So I kind of picked up that there was a price with this. So I said, listen, don't just blindly subscribe. I'm only repeating myself because of chat. Don't just blindly subscribe, but I'm not even gonna read chat from now on because you guys are distracting me. So yeah, don't just blind subscribe. Look at my videos. Make sure that that you like what I'm putting out. All right. And honestly, I mean, this might be kind of mean to say, but I think Moff just doesn't like me. Period. Once I sent him my credentials, and I blacked out the important parts so he can never, try to um, dox me or anything. But left in just enough that it's obvious it's not a question that it's me. Um, Now, once he saw those credentials, he knew, what, this guy got something I'll never have. And that's credentials, that's experience, that's he's actually been on the other side. He's been privy to that information. He was trusted with information that I just guess about for 4 years of his life, actually longer because I had the clearance. I got out at 4. I only used the clearance for 4, but had the clearance for 7 years. So for 7 years was trusted with that type of information at a top secret, sensitive, compartmented information clearance with a polygraph level. As high as it goes, okay? As far as the public knows. All right? Now, the only difference between me knowing the most vital secrets of the government is need to know. I mean, that's what it is. It's need to know. Where for me to do my job, my need to know was code breaking, collection, listening in on things. So that was about the gist of what I did. You listen in, you break the code. You have a linguist put it into English. You look at it, you prioritize it, which is very important. Is it just normal military activity? Is it, or is it like priority one? Is it this might be an act of war? Um, so you look at it in that way. But the most important part of that is when you look at it, yeah, Monster and cigarettes. Yep. I don't know what that was like supposed to be a diss. Yeah, I like that. So I keep relighting the same cigarette. So because I'm talking. But the most important part after you prioritize the information is you decide if it is real intel that you're reading or that you had just decoded. Because if it's encrypted, it's either one of two things. It's real intel, and mind you, by this point, we know who it is, and we know if it's China or North Korea or Russia or whatever it is. We already know. Now, they might even fool you. It might be like, let's say the Russians will send something in Chinese, but we can figure it out. Let's just put it that way. So we figure it out. We already know where it's from. We prioritize it. But then the most important thing, I'm telling you, this is the most important thing, is it real intel or disinformation? Okay? Now, what they'll do sometimes is, let's say they send out 100 encrypted messages, all with different encryptions. So they all have to be decoded differently. You can't just decode one and decode them all. So, when something like that happens, a team gets on it. We get through them. We, have a, get together. We talk. Nothing I've said is classified, by the way. I'm saying this in layman's terms, and none of it's classified. It's in the job description. And basically, you just decide, is it disinformation or is it real information? And what you'll find is that of the 100 messages, let's say, for an easy number, like 98 or 99 will be disinformation to throw you off the trail. One or two will be real information. And despite, I mean, that seems like a very difficult task, right? But despite that, we get it right 99.4% of the time. If I had to try to guess exact, that's it. I say that because there was one occasion in particular. There's actually two occasions. One, luckily, we were able to figure out that we were wrong before anything bad happened. Another time, there were casualties, and let's just say they weren't your regular sailor. Very special force. And they were wounded. There was um, also a death. And I've always wanted to like reach out to his family and everything, but first of all, I could never do that because of some non-disclosure agreements and things like that. And it's like it eats at me. It really does. But speaking of disinformation, um, I really think it was extremely rude of Marfoogle and telling how he and also even one of my own mods, CJ, who won't be my mod for long. I'll just say that because she's just way too far up Mouth's ass, and for her to like not even be able to see what's going on. I mean, I don't know what I did so wrong besides say he should have given me credit. He goes on to start throwing subs in my face, which I tried to make it so that he wasn't able to ever do that by saying on his channel, listen, don't sub, look at my channel, make sure you like it. I tried to avoid that, but all right, he still did it. So imagine I didn't say that, all right? So for all you out there, be careful. I know you're trying to get your YouTube, if you're going a YouTube channel, be careful because it comes with a price. He expects some type of like worship, and oddly enough, anyone who watches my channel regularly, I mention Maf on, if not all of my every other video, let's say. And when I mention him, I speak very highly of him every single time. Every single time. I always speak highly of him. And that's how often I talk about him. Maybe like if I do talk about him, it'll be more than once. It'll be like a couple times every other video. And it's always, I speak very highly of him because I do actually appreciate that, the hardest part is getting from like 0 to 100, I would say. And he got me that. That's probably the hardest part. You just got to get like off that ground floor. And he got me off the ground floor. And I do appreciate him for that. Now to be honest with you, the rest of the way I made it clear the next time I called in because I realized he was treating me different. I made it clear. I said, "Hey, only subscribe if you like my content. Don't go blind and subscribe because one, those people aren't gonna watch the videos and all that, and they're gonna end up being the type of people who will turn on you in situations like this, even when you're in the right. I don't care what anyone says. I'm in the right. I actually put a poll up on my channel. It went 50%, 50%. I'm sure by now it's probably gone his way because I don't really know many of the people in the chat right now. So that's fine. I mean, that was just, last night I was almost questioning myself, like, am I going crazy? Like, why does everyone think, like, I did something so bad? Like, do they understand, like, what's going on here? Like, this guy's like, he helps people out, builds them up, only to use it against them. And the devil is making him do this? Wait, are you guys talking about me? You guys are out of your minds if you guys are saying that. I'm going crazy. I just want to make sure everything. Hold on. I said I wouldn't read chat. And I think Marv tries to do a good job too. And I think he does have extremely good qualities of him. But I don't care. I'm not going to ignore. Maybe some of you will just like sit back and take that, but I'm not. I'm not going to have him come on my shit and be like, hey, who do you think you are, asking to be, he didn't say that exactly, but I mean, it's basically like that's what it was about, right? And he totally misunderstood. He's like, "You're confusing one of two things. This is about this, and this is about this." It's like, no, I'm not confusing anything. We're talking about Seattle. I'm not talking about Virginia Beach. Virginia Beach, I gave my own analysis on. All right. So for anyone in chat right now saying I'm crazy or I am the devil, I mean, listen to you people. Are you kidding me? This is what happened. I asked him to give me credit on a video. No big deal. I didn't take it far. I didn't like yell it. I wasn't mean about it. But then he has to leave this comment, this condescending comment, like, "Hey, I give you all those subscribers. This is the thanks I get. Huh? This is how you treat me." Like, really? Like, listen, like is that what you do? You like help people up so you could throw it in their face in case they ever say anything or grow. And all he ever talks about is, I want people to be themselves and grow. And and he says, as long as you don't come and attack me later. Well, guess what? No one would have came and attacked you later if you didn't come and attack me in the comments of my video. You want to come on mine and say and talk about and throw subscribers in my face. Trust me, I'm not going to react kindly. Anyone who really watches my channel, not these people, I don't recognize any of your names. All right, you were obviously sent here. All right, so I don't give a shit what live chat says or what the likes and dislikes. It'll be the real viewers will watch it later because they're used to me going on this. So I don't care what any of you say. I respect your opinion, but honestly, if you're gonna have like a blind way of looking at it, and you don't care that $1,800 was paid to him, and because of that, he only talked Q for months. Okay, that's alarming to me, but if that's okay with you, that's cool too. If you're not concerned with a neck tattoo that has a meaning that would make you sick, all right, and I'm withholding that because I'm giving him another day to apologize because he wasn't right to do that. He wasn't right to go on my channel and start talking about, hey, I give you all these subscribers and this is what you do. Da, 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 da. All I did was you should have given me credit when I break a story and you took it over, rightfully so. It's his city. I broke a story in his own city. I mean, that probably didn't feel good. If he broke a Boston story that was that big, I would kind of be like, oh, if I was the big channel. But no big deal. All he had to do was just say, oh, by the way, this is broken by a Fugle fam member, Red Pill News Dispensary. It's all he had to say. And which brings me to also, that's what he says. He says he's gonna he wants to help people, right? He wants to help people build channels. He wants them to have a platform. He wants them to have a voice. He wants to support them. He wants to, and I think it was very nice what he did for the boy that got bullied at school and things like that. It's just, I think that was from the kindness of his heart. But there's other things he does. I just have to question everything he does because it's like, I know too much about this guy that I have to question everything. I don't know when he's actually telling truth or if he's been paid. I don't know what his agenda is because there is an agenda to helping people because I did everything he wishes a channel would do. He says, I wish people would just be themselves, which I have been. I wish people would, they just have to put in the work, make the videos. I make multiple videos a day. There'll be a day where I make none, but that's because I need to sleep. All right? It got to the point where I was like, I mean, I was so tired at one point. I just had gotten 2 hours of sleep for like 8 days straight. So, he wants people to put out content, just keep staying at it, no matter how frustrating it gets. And to me, It's about getting the truth out. It's not about subscribers. If it was about subscribers, I would never make a video like this because I'm definitely have lost subscribers. But that's fine because then, I'll thin out the herd and have people who actually are open-minded to truth and not closed in a box of just believing everything out of this one person's mouth, who comes off as extremely authentic. I admit he does. And I think it's because there was authenticity there at one point. However, that authenticity went out the window for sure when he took money to push Q. For sure, when all of a sudden he's Christian this, Christian that. Yeah, anytime a Christian tries to say a prayer, they are hung up on. Or anytime, someone brings up a open-ended question about the Bible. I mean, things that are very, very simple. He doesn't even know, let alone the chapters. He doesn't even know what book it's from. He isn't. It seems like his knowledge of the Bible is. I mean, like, if he did it in like education levels at a first grade level, which is okay, because let's say he's totally honest, then that means that he's really, like found God and really came back to Jesus in these past 8 months. So then, if that's the case, then I will retract that. However, I have to question it because the whole way, I've had actually someone contact me last night who used to work directly with him. She was talking something about like a some T-shirt thing that went on, and he ended up footing her with the bill. And oh, which by the way, like I said, Patreon. I said I would never do Patreon. I haven't made $1. I would never do Patreon because I would never withhold information. But here's me giving him credit where credit's due. He found a brilliant way to do Patreon. Now, I don't know if he gives them more information than others. I don't think so. So he found a brilliant way to do it. Just have merchandise. When you're as popular as him, you can do merchandise, and that's a way for Patreon. Basically, you're buying merchandise. You get to have the cool shirt that says Marfoogle, and walk around like a walking billboard. But that's fine because guess what? I would have gotten one of those shirts, I don't know, like 9 months ago. So before I started learning, but as time goes, for those of you, I wonder if any of you that are talking crap in here have watched him for over 9 months. If you have, come on, really? Are you blind, dumb, or just, I don't know, like a bot or something? I just don't get it. Like, you don't see the change, the progression of Q. Then it's the Christians. Then it's the prepper, right? Then it all became about prepping, right? Now it's like, I don't know, all these it seems like I don't even know what it is now. It's like censorship for one. It's a lot of stuff I don't like. That's not what I do know. Censoring. Oh, now it's build up YouTubers. That's actually was the next step. Build up other YouTubers and encourage them to be themselves, put in the work, do all the things I have done. And then he leaves a comment like that on my video, throwing it in my face that he got me subscribers. When in reality, my mods are the ones who really my mods are really the ones who got me over 1,000. And that's the truth. My mods will tell you that because they like campaigned hard for me, and I appreciate them. Especially those of them who have always been good to me. So also, there's also qualities that are good about Marf. I think he has a great sense of humor. I actually, believe it or not, I don't really use my sense of humor in videos as much. I do in some ways, kind of like a dry, sarcastic humor sometimes. But his whole like he kind of does like the cheese, God, like the the Napoleon Dynamite slash Will Ferrell type of comedy. I love that stuff, and that was another thing I loved about him that I wish I'd see more of lately. And someone mentioned that. As soon as I mentioned that, I noticed him doing it a little bit more. But I won't see it anymore. I'm blocked. So, I mean, I guess that's what he does. He has, he makes a comment, nasty comment, and then blocks me. All right, that wasn't right for him to do. So I don't understand all these people defending him. It just shows me why these corporations and the elite are able to so easily brainwash the masses. It's staggering. And sometimes don't you ever wonder, like when did we all become so asleep that we did not know? I mean, I knew, but that's only because the Patriot Act, I saw it firsthand with the Patriot Act. As soon as the Patriot Act passed, all of a sudden, I'm listening to Marines crying on the phone. That's weird. Never had to listen to that before. I don't say Marines cry. It was just one particular that sticks out. He had gotten like a Dear John letter, and his fiance was sleeping with someone, and it must have been the first time they had talked since he got that letter and probably got back from wherever he was deployed from. And I'm listening to that, wasting my time. That's what happened after the Patriot Act. And by the way, 9/11 happened. The Patriot Act was sitting there. It was ready to go. I mean, you saw how long it took them to redact the Mueller report. This thing is so complex. Anybody who knows anything about legislation will tell you this Patriot Act was written well before 9/11. Obviously, a lot of work went into a lot of different things. The whole country kind of came alive and came together after 9/11, including myself with my senior year of high school. I went from thinking I was going to be playing Division I basketball to doing push-ups, getting screamed at. But, that's the path I'd chosen to take. I was going to go in as an officer after college, like my father did. But, my father, my grandfather, both my uncles on my mother's side, they were out of those four, three Army, father Air Force. I went Navy. And, hoo-yah. So, I just honestly, I think that Marfoogle at some point, um, especially when I said, listen, like, don't let people just blindly subscribe. Let them listen to the content. And I kind of like cut his agenda at the knees, or at least I thought I did. But it still got thrown in my face later. I knew it was going to happen. Oh, I got you these subscribers and da 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 da. And he's like trying to make it like I'm mixing up two stories when I've been very clear. I'm talking about your Seattle videos, and that's all. All right. So I have so much more information that I could put out there. So far we got the Dustin Nemo's $1,800, and then right after getting that payment, he pushes Q for months. Okay, does that sound like a truther or a shill? It's a definition of a shill, actually. Um, let's see. The way his censorship of not only himself but I don't say every word I'll say. Ready? Iran, Israel. Uh, I will say FF because that one's a little touchy. Iran, Israel. What else? What else should I say? Anything. Say something. I'll say it all. I try not to swear, but whatever it is. Iraq. What? What is there? Vaccines. Like, come on. I'm not saying that the algorithms aren't real, because once Monty showed it to me, on his channel, I love his channel. When I say Monty, I'm talking about Montegraph. This wicked intelligent guy, wicked intelligent. He is. Let's just put it this way: is when it comes to the internet, he is like the dark lord of the internet. This guy is something. I've seen his skills at work and what he's capable of, and it's amazing. And he does it in an entertaining way. He comes off as a different, kind of different. This vid is kind of wacko. All right, I don't care if you have a video. And by the way, oh, the Nemo's thing was a loan. Oh, how convenient. I'm sure it was. Either way, was he or was he not paid to push something? And right after he did exactly that. Push it for months. Alone. Out of here. Oh my God, you people scare me. You really do. You scare me. And this isn't rambling craziness. This is truth. All right. Look at America. Look at how blinded people are. People are starting to wake up, but even in the truth community, we have this like faction, especially like in the Marfoogle. And by the way, it's so funny because so many, and you know who you are, so many of you that are defending Marf in comments yesterday, by the way. You guys are defending this guy. Oh, this and that. When literally only 2 weeks earlier, 3 different people who commented saying something positive about him were trashing him on the phone, one-on-one with me. And I said, listen, I don't want to do that kind of talk. And that was it. I wasn't gonna. I was actually the one who said, "No, I don't want to do that. I don't like talking behind people's backs. If I ever do say something about him, it'll be for a reason, and I'll say it to his face. And this is my way of saying it to his face. So there's a lot more information. It's just I don't want to take it too far, where it gets messy. So far, I'll give you that. And also, like I said, all that I have backed up. So ask him about the neck tattoo. Ask him about the $1,800 he received from Dustin Nemos, who is brilliant, by the way. Dustin Nemos is brilliant. I think that man is brilliant. I love him. I would check out his channel because you might actually find truth there. Now, that's a smart man. That's a smart man. Have someone else, be the show. At least he was real. Justin Neal was approaching it in a real way, and he was trying to spread that information. You know what I mean? He was trying to get that information out. So how you get the information out? Well, you're making money, so you pay somebody who is obviously growing to push it. And hey, guess what? That person, he turned out to be the type that can be bought. His opinions can be bought. His thoughts, his videos, what he says can be bought. Me, I can't be bought. And listen, Maf, it's obvious that obviously you always wanted to be military, never had the balls to do it, or maybe you had some like medical or something like that. But I realized that I've done things in my life and experienced more the type of stuff that lived. I actually literally experienced that side of it, and you know it. I mean, you said it yourself. This guy is 100% legit because you have my credentials. So I'm sorry that you didn't have the opportunity to have, that information and have to, and be able to live that life. But just so you know, I don't take back anything I did in the military, obviously. But trust me, you might be better off that you didn't. Because look around, a lot of veterans are hurting. There's a lot of the veteran suicide rate is through the roof. Veterans with PTSD, when they feel cornered, they attack. You should have never fucking came at me, buddy. Never attack me. Because this is a fact as well. I have given you about 1/3 to 2/5 of the information that I have that is damning. Now the information gets more damning as we go. So far the major points are what you guys already know. Just basically his comment. That's number one because that's what this is all about. He fired a bullet at me, and now I'm coming back at him. So he wants to leave a comment like that and try to throw it in my face about subscribers when I did nothing but say something very accurate, that in journalism you should give credit to the person who broke the story in the actual video that you were reporting about Seattle polls going down. Okay. So, like I did, I even gave credit to the tip for it. Okay? You should give credit for the person breaking the story. And the person who gave me the tip is now a mod, by the way, and very much appreciated. Anyways, now number two. What's the neck? This might be the worst. What, your tattoo on your neck? What's it mean? Everybody ask him. Love to hear what he comes up with. Three, because he's probably sleeping right now, and he'll probably be sleeping for a while because he doesn't work. This is his job, to bullshit you people. Like, it goes right through me. I'm sorry. You know, I got to go to work in a few hours. I'm a single father. I go through everything I do. And the last thing I am is jealous of him, because I will never be the type that sells my word, which brings me to number three. Paid for opinions, paid for thoughts, paid for BS about Q. Now, as far as Q, what I think Q is, I think at one time Q was real. The only thing I can't figure out was he artificial intelligence, or was he actually a group of people who were human intelligent and signals intelligent, human SIGINT? Was he actually a group of them put together by technologies? Um, because if you saw Joe D the other day, he talked about some indictment coming down, and I know people have been saying that forever, but this guy knows what he's talking about, and it's pretty interesting. And it's going. The FISA courts are not happy that they got played by the FBI. So I'd say, you know, the big ones to look out for are Brennan and Comey. I mean, they're like, and I mean, I don't know. They might have some kind of law that could protect Obama in some way, but even before Clinton, I would say Comey and Brennan. Those would be the first two to go down. Although usually they go, kind of like what they did in this investigation. They go for the small fish first, and then they keep going up. And CJ Blaze, listen, you don't have to write anything. I know where your stance is. You made it very clear yesterday. And my rebuttal to you is, I don't understand you right now. I really don't. Because, like I said, how would you feel if somebody, got you off the ground level? Now, my mods got me over 1,000, but he helped me and got me off the ground level, right? Now, I understand that you have this allegiance to Moff. I get that. But CJ, what I don't understand is, yes, Pepper Gal, exactly correct, about the Patriot Act. But CJ, what I don't understand is how you don't see my gripe, which I didn't make a big deal about. I just said, Moff, that's why I was so surprised by it. Honestly, I think he was more upset because there was a video I made busting his balls. I was like, alert, alert, because come on, that alert, all that was a way to, get people to his website. That's all it was. I wonder what the alert was. Nothing important, I gather. I mean, alert. You know what I mean? Like scaring, you got to remember, you have these older people in the audience, people with conditions. You got to be careful with what you write for the title. Alert, all this crap at 11 p.m. And people think the world is falling, the sky is falling. I meant to say, like I found that disgusting as well. And so, but instead of saying I find that disgusting and bashing him, I just kind of busted his balls, and I was like, alert, alert, about every little thing that came up. That's it. Little joke video, and I made it very clear to him. I said, Moff, I'm joking. I love you. You know what I mean? And like I said, I've said nothing but good things about him constantly. And CJ, you're the first that knows that. Every single video, all I do is talk positive about Moff. I talk positive about him all the time because I honestly do appreciate him getting me off the ground floor. He didn't get me over 1,000. My mods did. I want to make that clear. And when I made sure, I kind of saw how he treated me after he got me off the ground floor. That's why I said to him, like I've said a million times already, but I want to make sure this is clear. That's why I said to him, and if you go back and watch that video, that's why I said to him, listen, I don't want people blindly subscribing. Let them check my channel out, and if they like what I got, then have them subscribe. One, because I don't want blind subscribers, and two, because I don't want him to have me by the balls, which he thought he did, which is why he thought it was okay to leave a comment, which started this whole thing on my video saying, oh, how dare you? I got you over 1,000 subscribers. That's what he's going to do to any of you that he helps, because I am exactly, if you like put into artificial intelligence, right? Exactly what he claims that he wants out of a YouTube creator. He says, I want somebody who's going to make videos all the time. I want somebody, who talks about what they know. And what I know happens to be, just, I just happen to, it's not so much what I know, it's my experience, which gives me a perspective on things. Like, for instance, Virginia Beach. He saw a correlation with Seattle. I saw an attack because of the location, because I know about that, the strategic advantage of taking out communications in that exact location. So, I'm able to bring that to the table. You know, he's able to bring like his sound stuff. And yeah, I'm bashing him a little bit. I'm bashing him a lot a bit. But it's because of the comment that he had to make. Oh, and acting like he's like some god that needs to be worshipped. Oh, handing out subscribers to all the peasants. Because that's how he thinks of you people. That's how he thought of me. I picked up on it. That's why I said to him that. Please, CJ, I don't need to hear it from you. Just, you know it, okay? You know it. If you're defending him, it's just because you have loyalty to him. It's not because he was right in this situation, because he was 100% wrong. He was wrong for, and yes, I put him in the title because I wanted him to see it. I wanted him to see that my opinion was he should have given me a shout out and, said this was broken by Red Pill News Dispensary on his Seattle video, which he did not. That's all I wanted to do. He didn't do it. And basically, that's why he decided to leave a comment, throwing subscribers in my face like he's some, like, I don't know. It's like almost like, how dare you? I am God Marfoogle of YouTube. I hand out subscribers and you do not bend the knee? You speak of me, not I know I'm a little crazy. But it just it comes off like that to me. It really does. It's like ridiculous. And then what's the worst is when I see like this like mass of people who, we have the sheeple, and then we have the people who think they're awake, but they're actually more asleep than the people who believe mainstream media. Because you're sitting here and you guys are, I know it's a great show, it's entertaining, but if you're gonna actually like take it for truth, I'm sorry. You know, his track record does not tell me truth is coming up. What's up with Virginia Beach? Well, this story was broken by Marfoogle. You see how simple that was? But he said that there was some polls. I don't want to misquote him since he broke it. I'm giving him credit. You see how that goes? So basically, you know how the Seattle polls went down, which I broke and he reported, never gave me credit for breaking it, which is what caused this whole thing. Even though that was really nothing, it wasn't a big deal until he made a comment, basically like, "How dare you? When I've gotten you all these subscribers." Nobody. My mods got me over 1,000, but you did get me off the ground floor. And you know what I did? I thanked you in every other video and talked highly of you in every other video, even though, I'll, to be 100% honest, for the past like 4 months, I haven't really liked you. I haven't. I still watch the show because it's entertaining. I like hearing the callers. For the past 4 months, I've seen right through you. And it's not just because of that. I've also received some damning information on you. And since I started this channel, the information has really started to flow in. So, I mean, I don't know why they would do that, because anyone who watches this channel would think that I'm one of those people like some of you in chat that are just blind Marfoogle lovers, that literally he could like do anything and you're gonna defend him. You know, and some people think they're awake, and I'm telling you, they're actually the most asleep, because it's like weird. It's like, okay, take someone who just watches like mainstream media and believes all that crap. Scott, I feel you. I know what you mean. It's like it is. I hear you. Get over it. You know what? You're probably right. But I said this last night. I don't know, man. I just, at one point, I looked up to him too much for him to attack me the way he did in a comment, just because, God forbid, I mentioned that he should have maybe, I don't know, just given me a mention for breaking the story in his own city. That's it. Like, I just gave him a mention about when someone asked about Virginia Beach. So, anyways, to finish the Virginia Beach. But I hear you, though. It's like, get over it. But at the same time, no, he's too big of a channel. He's blocked me. And by the way, he's been censoring me for the past 3 weeks as far as calling in. They won't take my phone call. That's a fact. Another fact. And I can prove that. If you guys want, I record all my phone calls. So I'll show all the recordings. You'll hear me get a bunch of busy signals. Then you'll hear me get through, wait 10 minutes, get hung up on. Get through. Well, now that might happen once or twice. There could be some reason I don't know about. It happened 7 times. Okay? 7 times. For his whole show, I just kept hitting, kept hitting, kept hitting. I am genuine and real. Thank you, mama. It's just, the thing is, that's not what most people follow. Most people follow the music and the awesome setup and the great production. And don't get me wrong, I wish I had the money and the studio to have those things too. He's put in a lot of work and blood, sweat, and tears to get those things. I get it. Like on that level, I still respect him. But when in this community, it's all about truth. And once you start taking money and giving false information to people, or, I actually think Q was real for a little bit, so it's not exactly 100% false, but I think the real Q only operated until about January, or maybe like March 2018, something like that. I know that he was definitely in January 2018. There was some real good intel in there. And it's so funny. The intel from January 2018 is all this news that just broke 2 days ago. And now Ba had the balls not to go to the hearing. There's stuff coming with that. I really believe so. Um, and, it's like a lot of people jumped off that Q bandwagon, because they, in their heart, didn't believe it, not because they weren't getting paid anymore. Um, so, yeah. So, and anyways, listen, veterans, when we get cornered, when we get attacked, we bite back. I'm sorry, we're fighting, and I'm up against a mammoth. I know that. I'm gonna get way more dislikes than likes. I know that. I get it, but I'm telling truth. Ask about his neck tattoo. Ask about the $1,800 from Nemos, who's a great man, by the way. I love Nemos. Um, Ask about um, why all of a sudden the Christian thing, then all of a sudden the prepper thing. Then all of a sudden the YouTube builder thing, which ended up being BS because all he wants to do is throw it in your face afterwards. If you God forbid you make a video and you say one word out of line, it's like literally I would praise him every other video. So he's obviously watching my videos. I mean, and I put his title in, ones like, let's say it's a live show, and I just want to get one in quick for East Coast people because I kind of feel bad they never get to get it live because he takes his time going live, which is his channel. It's fine, but you got all these people on the East Coast waiting until what, like 2:30, 3 in the morning. I mean, that's ridiculous. Sometimes even like 4 in the morning. I mean, like, not, people have jobs, Math. Not everybody can live off their YouTube money and payoffs for their opinion. So, CJ, you're not going to be a mod after this. Actually, I meant to do that last night, but like I said, my lights went out. It's supposed to be fixed today because they should have never turned off my lights. I'm supposed to have medical protection. So once I called them yesterday and talked to them, they they were like, yeah, we made a mistake. So we'll put them back on. They said they have them on by 6 p.m. They said if it's not on by 6, it's going to be the next day. So hopefully today. And my child was picked up by my mother because I'm not going to have her in an apartment with no lights. So, anyways, I summed it up pretty well, I think. Well, maybe not well, but I summed it up. Um, you know, I understand I'm against it. I understand that most people are gonna, side with the big channel that they have this loyalty to, and he forms this family. It's just, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry to burst the bubble. It's all bullshit. All right? There's a reason I never joined that military Discord thing. And just so you know, a lot of military guys have contacted me and said, "Hey, you haven't joined that military Discord thing, have you?" I'm like, "No." And then they'll be like, "Yeah, me either." He goes, "It sounds like the type of thing where they'd be keeping track of us." I said, "Exactly." Because when you sign in, oh, he makes it sound like it's about stolen valor. Yes, I guess he asked you a couple questions. Because one guy, listen, all right, I'll just say it. All right, a mole was sent in. Okay. A mole was sent in just to see how the operation worked. Well, you got to give some information before you go in, obviously. And then they asked you questions confirming your military, and he said that that was actually legitimate. It didn't seem like it was fishy. It seemed like they really were just trying to make sure it wasn't stolen valor. And you guys know how I deal with stolen valor. If you have watched my videos before, one guy tried pulling that on my channel, and he didn't get past like he did on Moff's channel, who didn't pick up that the guy said he was retired as an E3. How do you not pick that up? E3? I went in as an E3. Like, I didn't go in as an E1. I recruited 14 people because I was waiting for my clearance both before and after I went in. So, my what's it called? Oh my God, my recruiter. He kind of took a liking to me. He was from Ireland, and he took a liking to me. He like me and two of my buddies joined. He gave me credit for my two buddies. Then he gave me credit for two more that he did himself. I don't know why he did that, which got me to E3. And then I appreciated it so much, I ended up getting 10 more people in, just hitting the pavement. I mean, this is right after 9/11, so, that was probably the easiest time to actually do recruiting. But I recruited 14 people into the military. Well, actually 12, because two he actually did. But I recruited 12, 14 on record, though. So, I mean, so I went in. If you do that, stuff like that, you go in the highest that you can go in the military as was an E3. So literally in boot camp, I already had an E3 ranking on my arm. So I got jump, but it's the E4 that's the real big one. When you hit E6, I mean that's it. We're talking 8 years at E6. So for me to even have E5 as early as I did was lucky. And mind you, I had gotten in trouble. If I had, let's say, stayed in, after a certain amount of time, you will either have gold chevron and then a stripe for every 4 years you have been in, and that means you never got in trouble. If it's a red chevron and the red stripes for every 4 years you've been in, then that means you've been in trouble. Now, for me, the trouble was I got caught underage drinking with some army girls. I blew a 0.0, but I respected my lieutenant. I was an honorable sailor, and he asked me, "You blew a 0.0. Were you drinking?" And I said, "Yes, sir," because it was the truth. I drank a little bit, and then a few hours went by, and that's when actually the drill sergeant legit got the keys. I mean, this guy was no joke. Busted down the door, only to find, I'm not even gonna say what, and with two sailors. So whatever. I blew a 0.0. Was still an honorable enough man to admit it. So, I got in trouble, and that might have slowed me. I didn't get busted down. I did have to do extra duty. I had restriction to base, 30 days and 30 and 30, and it sucked, but you go through it, and it was fine. Now, what Nemos when all I did was very clearly say it would have been the right thing to do to give me credit for breaking the story when you did the Seattle videos. Also, ask him about. You don't have to like flag the video because I can see it. That's what's happening. Cooperate with the authorities. All this stuff. He was so scared, and rightfully so. He might have been giving away military secrets on the show. But then again, that's not his fault. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know what the call is going to say. He had no reason to be as petrified as he was. So I say rightfully so, but at the same time, I mean, I guess he just doesn't really understand the way it works. The ones who are going to get in trouble in that situation with Operation Hunt Musket, one and most of all, the poor guy who trusted him that called in. You ever talk about that guy? He's probably sitting in a brig somewhere on a bread and water diet. I heard some report like, oh yeah, they just let him go. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. If they let him go, that means the story's fake. All right, it's fake story. I think it's real because the only thing that people could find, and there was some digging on it. A lot of people did some digging on it, and the only thing found was that people said, oh, well, that order number has been used before, and they referred to something in the 70s or something like that. That exactly the time period they referred to is not a fact. Everything else I'm talking about is fact. So, but I think it was real. I really do. It looked like a real order to me. And I know that when I search my order numbers, I find things. I found a order from Korea and another order from Vietnam. So, they do reuse order numbers. But so that let's say so it was most likely real because man, if you guys would stop hitting the flag, you know what? It's just pathetic. People are like so blindly loyal that they'll just do anything. When someone's speaking truth, they don't want to hear truth. So what's that say about you? Seriously, those of you doing that, what's that say about you? That when you hear truth, that's what you do. Because I can see when it happens, they get this video taken down. Too much truth for you? Because that's exactly what this is, truth. So where was I? And it also makes me lose my train of thought. Oh yeah, so Hot Musket. That poor kid is probably sitting somewhere, all right? And Marf was live on John X. Didn't know he was live. He started talking, quivering like a bitch. And then John X is like, oh, Moff, you're live. He's like, oh, I am? He's like, well, I don't want to be live. He's like, listen, man, I'm scared. I'm scared. Listen, like, I just want this to go away. I'll cooperate. I'll do whatever it takes. Da, 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 da. All right? A lot of you guys saw that video. I know you did because a lot of you guys watched John X. He has way more subscribers than Moff. So I know a lot of you guys saw that video when they were going over Hot Mustard. So, another thing. He's always taking credit for breaking musket. You see how easy that was? And that's all I asked for. And he had to leave a nasty comment holding subscribers that he got me subscribers over my head and throwing it in my face, which just shows his character and shows why he tries to help people on YouTube. All right. But what I think about that everyone seems to forget about is what about that poor guy who put not only himself but his family at risk by giving that intelligence? Because guess what? Just as much as you guys have kind of fallen into the tactics that he uses and the brainwashing and and it's entertaining show, but there's some elements that the Foogle fam and the family of it, trust me, it's subtle, but it's there, and it makes me wonder what type of asset he is. I mean, we know that for $1,800 he'll say whatever you tell him to say. I wonder what he'd do for an actual legit amount of cash, not for my paycheck in 1 week. Like, really? Not 1 week, but close to it, But I wonder about that guy from Hot Musket that reported it, that poor guy. Because I'm sure the Pentagon got a hold of Moff. Officially, they denied it. I'm sure they got a hold of him. And they don't even have to get a hold of him. They have the ability to just kind of, look into his call log, put two and two together, see the phone number, get the name, know who it was, bang, done. Within 15 minutes, not only do I know who he is, but he's in custody. And that guy's probably on a bread and water diet right now. Nobody thinks about that. It's sad. So ask about that as well, along with the neck tattoo, the $1,800 from Nemos, the censorship of himself, his viewers, his chat, him building up people for YouTube only to throw it in their face and hold it over their head later. Why? Because they say, hey, if I break a story, will you please, I don't know, maybe mention my name when you do a report about it. Now, he's taken that video and ran with it, rightfully so. Whereas, same thing, when I heard him mention Virginia Beach, I took his word for it, broke it, and just gave my opinion. I actually haven't even done any deep research on it yet. But I did just take his word that it happened. And I've actually heard from people, not heard from people, but I saw in comments that they're like, I don't see anything about it. But then again, just because you don't see it on the internet doesn't mean it didn't happen. If it was an attack on us, trust me, they're gonna make it very difficult to find. Except I have access to corners of the internet that people don't have access to. So I'll do some digging today. And to all my loyal subscribers, and even, subscribers of Moff who, love his show, but at the same time, you can kind of see where I'm coming from. I thank you for, at least just recognizing real. And that doesn't mean don't watch his show. Watch his show. It's entertaining. Just like he says, take it with a grain of salt. Because half of it's BS. Alex Jones.